Hello, and welcome to Talent Forward, hosted by the U.S. Chamber Foundation. Today, we'll hear from leaders in the public and private sectors about the future of work and our workforce. Whether you're joining us as a business owner, policymaker, parent, worker, student, or teacher, this is likely deeply personal. It affects all of us. Whether you're a Fortune 50 CEO or a small business owner with 50 workers, your success depends on the people you employ. And whether they're just starting a career or just learning how to read, our children's futures are determined not only by their natural ability and hard work, but by our nation's education system and commitment to lifelong learning. Opportunity, talent, skills, competitiveness, these are the building blocks of people's lives and livelihoods, of business success, and our economic future. The questions we'll ask during this program are simple. Do we have the people to grow our economy and compete in the world? Do we have the systems to build the workforce of the future? Far too often, the answers are no. We don't have the people. We aren't adequately preparing our children, and our systems are falling short. We as a country should be outraged that we spend so much money on a system that is not making us more competitive or helping young people get ahead. We should be outraged that other economies are recruiting and stealing PhD students that are educated here in America. We should be outraged that 5 million people are able to cross the borders illegally, while nurses and software engineers are waiting in line to legally work here and can't get processed. This is unacceptable. Our workforce challenges are complex and they're urgent, and not all of the solutions are sexy. But we have to be the adults in the room. We have to eat our broccoli, do the hard work, take the steps, and bridge the gaps that are holding this country back. Today, I'll talk about a few of the things we can do now to address the current challenge of the worker shortage and the long-term challenge of building a competitive workforce for the future. So where do we start? It's very simple. We need more people. Right now, there are 5 million more open jobs than unemployed workers to fill them. We need to enact a rational legal immigration policy that welcomes global talent while securing our borders. We need to improve access to affordable, quality childcare to support working parents who have been forced to put their careers on hold while they care for their children. And we need to get people off the sidelines by increasing access to broadband, by promoting second chance hiring, supporting individuals struggling with addiction, and enacting policies that incentivize work. The Chamber is working to advance meaningful policy solutions on these topics and more through our longtime workforce advocacy and our America Works initiative. But simply growing the workforce will not solve this problem. We also need to ensure those looking for work have the skills and training for the jobs businesses need to fill. And that starts with better data. This may not be the most eye-catching or headline-grabbing aspect of the issue, but it is one of the most important. Labor market information is how we decide what training programs are needed and what skills are in demand. But if that information doesn't keep up with the pace of change in the private sector, then we're wasting money. And unfortunately, many people are being sent to dead-end training programs that do not deliver meaningful results. Right now, we're making multi-billion-dollar decisions about taxpayer investments and about what our labor market needs with data that's often incomplete, inaccurate, and outdated. Businesses don't operate that way. Neither should our government. The Chamber's America Works Data Center is helping capture the current state of the workforce and key trends across industries and regions. But we also need more up-to-the-minute information across our economy to inform our workforce decisions. To make that possible, the public and private sectors must work together to collect better data about open jobs, industry growth, and the skills and education programs that will best prepare students for success. Look, we all know what gets measured gets managed. And with this data more readily available, all relevant stakeholders could make informed decisions to meet our economy's needs. To fill the millions of jobs that are open right now, we should also promote smart, business-led workforce solutions. Businesses are the end users of education and training through the people they employ, and they should have more say on the front end. The system should actually produce skills that today's businesses need. The Chamber Foundation's Talent Pipeline Management Initiative is one employer-led solution that helps align classrooms and careers to build scalable, sustainable pipelines of talent. TPM is operating in 40 states and Canada, driving partnerships between local chambers, economic development agencies, employers, and educators to create demand-driven strategies to meet businesses' workforce needs today. And we'll hear other examples throughout the program about businesses and how they're implementing innovative solutions to manage their talent the way they do their supply chains, through data and strategic planning. At the same time, we need to make fundamental changes to the ways we educate and train students. Our higher education system is our default workforce development system, and it's broken. Our nation invests $150 billion a year in grants and loans for higher education, and yet less than 2/3 of college students finish their degree. Meanwhile, Americans own nearly $2 trillion in student loan debt, and many debt holders don't have the skills or qualifications for in-demand jobs. We can't just pass that debt burden back to taxpayers, pat ourselves on the back, and wait for this problem to pile up again for the next generation. We must reimagine our education system. It's got to keep up with the job market and provide a real return on investment to students and learners. There is no wrong way to pursue the American dream, yet our current policies and incentives bias traditional college, and we know that's not the only path to a successful career. There's no reason why a student can get a low-interest subsidized loan for a 4-year degree in sociology, but that same student can't get similar financing for a 6-week coding program. We simply need to expand access to programs that lead to good jobs, regardless of how long the program is or who delivers the training. That means giving technical training, upskilling, and learn and earn programs the advantages we currently give 2- and 4-year degrees. We're asking workers to learn new skills, to adapt to the modern economy, and to invest in education and training that have a good return on investment. Our government should do the same. Finally, and fundamentally, we need to address learning loss stemming from the pandemic and the K-12 education shortcomings that existed long before it. At the beginning of the 21st century, we built a system that required everyone to pay attention to the basics, reading and math, and to make progress toward educating all students, regardless of income. Slowly, we have walked away from the core principles of high standards, measurement, and accountability for educating every child. The result has been a steady decline in achievement, and the pandemic poured gasoline on this already burning fire, erasing 2 decades of progress in math and reading scores in just 2 years. The workforce of tomorrow is in 5th grade today. Can anyone say we're adequately preparing them? The answer is no, and it's unacceptable. We owe it to future generations to fix our K-12 system now. It cannot wait. Without a real and urgent conversation on K-12, too many of our nation's promising young people will never catch up and will remain at a significant disadvantage. And so will our country. We're dealing with these crises now because our systems for educating and developing talent have become outdated and inefficient. But the solutions are not out of reach. Addressing our immediate workforce shortage and building better pathways to careers for future generations doesn't have to mean tearing down the whole system to build a new one. We must start with the things that can get done, and we must commit to ensuring they do. Make no mistake, the things we're calling for aren't minor changes to the status quo. They're structural changes that would help usher our talent development system into a new era. By committing to address these challenges together, including government, business, education institutions, and more, we can make an immediate difference in closing the gap between the America we are and the America we can be. Are you willing to settle for any less? At the U.S. Chamber, we know that when our nation works, economies grow, opportunities thrive, and communities prosper. We know that when America leads the world on talent, we lead the world. Let's get fired up. Let's do the work. Let's make it a reality. Thank you.